Rumors are that allegedly things aren't looking too good for Jazelle at Real Housewives of Potomac. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly things aren't looking too good for Gizelle Bryant at Real Housewives of Potomac. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Potomac producers are finally waking up to Gizelle Bryant's toxicity with her castmates. The source continued, Gizelle is in hot water with production and may have a hard time getting back in their good graces. This season, producers took a beating because of Gizelle's on-air antics. Her bully mean girl behavior not only rubbed her castmates the wrong way, but fans as well. It's one thing to not be liked by your castmates, said the source, but it's something totally different to not be liked universally by the fans and the media. Allegedly, Jazelle was brought into a production meeting with producers shortly after the reunion and told in order for her to continue at the franchise, she has to drop the insufferable mean girl behavior. The source continued to say, producers were adamant that Jazelle was the issue and that her attitude towards her castmates was sinking the franchise with bad ratings and bad press. Allegedly, the Essence article was the last straw. Essence readers are the huge chunk of the Real Housewives of Potomac and Atlanta fan base. So, to have that large of a demographic of fans voicing their disgust with Jazelle and the franchise was eye-opening. So, production had to course correct and fast. The source was asked, will Jazelle take her warning? Probably not, because she is simply in too deep with her toxic behavior. Now, kinfolk, this is some information that came across my desk shortly after the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion was filmed. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, some of this does seem somewhat factual. But the first part of this rumor I wanted to address is this. When the question is brought up, can Gizelle course correct? No, I don't think Gizelle can course correct at all. Simply because, as the source is saying, Gizelle is simply in too deep with this mean girl attitude. And it's something that she has become or gotten too comfortable with portraying on camera. Now, it's one thing to be a villain, but as we always said on this show, and what my sources always told me, that behind the scenes, it's more important for you to be a likable villain. People like to watch you because of your bad behavior. And it seems as if Gizelle cannot get that balance under control. I always give Nene, for example. Nene was a villain, but she was a likable villain. She was fun. She was witty. But then if she needed to, she can get you together. And it was only when fans felt like Nene became too mean-spirited that they started to turn on her the last season she was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, this is something that Gizelle, unfortunately, just cannot understand. And I do agree with my sources when I say she is simply in too deep in order to course correct at this moment. So, what is the solution for that issue? I think it's this. You know, honestly, you have to get rid of Gizelle. Producers in production have to get rid of Gizelle. And the reason why they have to get rid of Gizelle, because she is sending a very dangerous message to her castmates and other housewives of other franchises. You know, for the past several seasons now, Gizelle has relentlessly attacked other people's marriages, the paternity of their children, and which is so ironic because now when Wendy and Candace supposedly gave a dirty look when Gizelle mentioned her daughter, it's a big issue. But then you blatantly sat there and perpetuate this lie that Monique's child was not her husband's. So with that being said, it's those things that fans are seeing like this double standard. And when you have other franchise of housewives seeing Gizelle do this and not being corrected and always brought back season after season and paid for it, then it allows that other toxic behavior to seep into the other franchises and potentially sink those franchises that were doing very well. Now, with that being said, kinfolk, if you get rid of Gizelle, then how do you replace her? Well, there has been a lot of talk about Ashley not returning next season for Real Housewives of Potomac. My thinking is, if you get rid of Gizelle, then you make Ashley the villain, something that Ashley is very good at. Now, rumors are that Ashley is actually a production plant, and she was planted in the cast just to carry out the wishes and the whims of producers. So with that being said, she knows how to take orders, right? She understands that there's a delicate balance you have to have in order to be a villain and also be likable. So I would just say, just pop Ashley into Gizelle's situation or into her spot and get rid of Gizelle. Gizelle just brings down the whole vibe of the show. I absolutely love seeing the castmates, and there are the younger ones, getting together and having fun. I remember that scene when they were in Austin and they were in the middle of the river having a conversation, and somebody on Twitter commented, "Oh, look, it is the future of Potomac." And I have to agree, because that group of ladies, they can talk, they know how to hash out drama, and honestly, they know how to bring it back to a place of fun. Unlike with Gizelle, when she has drama and things of that nature, she can't bring it back to a place of fun. So with that being said, I do think you should get rid of Gizelle and keep Ashley. Now, the other part of this situation that I do think falls on the producers' end. In order to make all this work, they have to be challenged to do this. Production has to be willing to show up to work, right? They have to be willing to come in and do the things necessary in order to move the franchise forward. And unfortunately, they have not been willing to do that because of this thing of lazy producing. Production has this thing about producing lazy content by allowing people like Gizelle to come in and do whatever they want to do with the cast, with the narratives, and with the storylines. And the issue with that is, you see how comfortable housewives get and how they're not mature enough or level-headed enough to hold their responsibility. I will say this, I do feel like Kyle in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I think she may, and just my thinking and speculation, be like a producer plant to a certain extent, and producers may take account to what she has to say about who needs to go and who needs to stay, because she's been there the longest and she knows what works. But I think Kyle keeps a level head about their responsibility. Nene didn't, and we see now Gizelle doesn't. Another person, Kenya. I think producers do see that Kenya is somewhat right when she gives her assessment of the issues with Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I see them probably, this me speculating again, relying on her expertise on how or who should stay and go. But I think she does it with a very delicate balance. Nene and Gizelle, they don't know how to do that. They're very heavy-handed. And what Gizelle's heavy-handedness has done for this for the franchise of Real Housewives of Potomac has pretty much pretty much destroyed basically a good popular show. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I think that all fans, whether you like Gizelle or not, can agree with is this. Gizelle has served the franchise well, right? She has brought us some very entertaining moments. But I think with all franchises and housewives, it just needs to be a time when you can say goodbye and you have to evolve. If Candy can leave, so can Gizelle. And I feel like Gizelle is overstaying her welcome. It'd be something different if Gizelle could be a chameleon and change her stripes like Karen did or has done and changed with the times. But she can't. And that type of person is not needed at a franchise where it is based on evolving, right? We truly to see the housewives evolve in the way they think and the way they act with each other. And every season, it is just more of the same with Gizelle. And it's turning a lot of fans off. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Gizelle is actually in hot water, according to this rumor? Or do you think production actually loves the way Gizelle acts and carry-ons on camera, and that they would never get rid of her because she is good for TV and good for ratings, no matter how good or bad she is for press? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.